Going into the international break, 2 great results. How's the camp been in the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, as you'd expect, really, pretty good. We've used the time as we have done all the international breaks to freshen up for the boys that needed a bit of a breather and make the most of that. Some boys needed a little bit of extra training, or Dale played in the game last Tuesday, so there's a bit of a mixed bag really, and getting everyone at a level really ready for the next push. So it's been good.
Kind of given the nature of the 2 performances, the 2 results, do you feel it came at a bit of a bad time, or?
It is what it is, I think we've been pretty consistent through the season, performance levels and results at times have been not always as consistent as with the performances, but I think we've adapted in international breaks and with the games. I think performances have been pretty good, so I don't expect it to make too much difference. I think it was a good way to end that kind of small chapter in the season, if you like, with the 2 wins and good wins. And then now we're at that stage where it's a longer run, all the way through till March, and not really any other distractions. So get our teeth into that.
And kind of touching on sort of what happened during the international break, in particular Ben Doak, obviously he's kind of been the talk of Scotland the last couple of weeks. Talking from a Middlesbrough perspective, how impressed have you been with him so far, and kind of what do you think he can achieve between now and the end of the season while he's still on loan?
Yeah, I mean, take it for what it is now. I think we're obviously really happy with the way Ben settled in. I think the way he approached life at Middlesbrough and fitting into the group and adapting and buying into what we do is kind of proven over the period of time that he's been here, of the improvement in performances and the more he's settled and the boys playing to his strengths and making him welcome as well and looking after him. He's still young, he's largely inexperienced in terms of senior football, so we've got to keep that in mind and be sensible with it, but certainly at the moment he's thriving. It's great to see. Not getting too carried away, it's a long season, as I said, he's young, so just take it a step at a time. We still got to take care of him,
Kind of looking ahead to the weekend, obviously Oxford have sort of had a solid start as a promoted side, they're very strong at home. What are you expecting from them on Saturday?
Yeah, I think they've adapted and attacked the league very well. I think pretty much every game they've been involved in has been really, really tight, and one goal here or there is in it, and obviously some draws. So tough game, tough game going down there, and really well organised. Don't give much either way, and we'll definitely be prepared for it, but we know what we're facing for sure. Yeah.
And kind of looking ahead, obviously you kind of touched on it there, but it's the kind of the stretch now to March as the game becomes thick and fast with the Christmas period as well. Does it feel like this is now the proper business time in the Championship?
Yeah, listen, it's a longer period for sure. In terms of how the game comes, it's pretty much the same rhythm of games really. You just don't get that break with the internationals in the middle, but in terms of how the games go from week to week, very similar. It's I don't think it's a crazy schedule really. I think the games are spaced out largely enough. But yeah, for sure, it's a much longer kind of chapter, and more gets decided from now until March, surely, because by the time you come out of it, you're not far from the end of the season, So it's the part of the season I really enjoy. This one of getting into the thick of it, and the boys will be ready for it.
Thank you.
Michael, just ahead of Oxford, obviously with the internationals, a couple of kind of injuries coming from that. He had withdrawn from the England under 21s. First off, how's he?
Yeah, it was an ankle issue, so we're still assessing him really. So we'll see how that goes. He's not long been back, so we'll see. Aidan Morris twisted his knee last week as well, but he's going to be out for a number of weeks. So he's not back with us till Monday. He's getting some extra treatment over back home to give him a little bit of a time to take a deep breath really. So he's back here Monday, but he'll be out for a little bit longer. Other than that, pretty much everyone has come back in good shape.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a blow for him. He's obviously come at the start of his Middlesbrough career and been really good for the team.
Yeah, it's a blow. Yeah, it's disappointing. I think it's part of the game ultimately, and hopefully it won't be too long. If anything, at some point we were looking to give him a break. This might be the break. Unfortunately, in the way it's come about, that he'd come back strong and he'd come back fit and fresh, and hopefully, as I say, it won't be too long. But surely, yeah, definitely, it's not the way we wanted it for it to happen. But unfortunately, that's part of football, really.
Yeah, the beauty of the squad. Johnny's obviously just back from injury. Dan pushing, scored the goal at QPR, so there's that side of it as well.
Yeah, for sure. Listen, we don't want injuries. We do everything we can to prevent them. Some you can't. If it's just a twist or if it's a tackle, that's one of those things that is unfortunate, and it happens throughout the game. But that's why, the squad's the squad, and that's why we try to assemble a one that will get us through the whole season. And there's going to be times when. Yes, players stay fit and maybe play a little batch, but there's going to be times when that changes, and that's why we've got the quality and we've got players and we feel can step in and do fantastic as well.
Yeah, and just to who were out and kind of coming on the way back or hoping to be back not too long, Lucas and Rav, are they kind of any closer?
They're both on the grass, both back on the grass. Lucas has been out for a long period of time, so he'd take a little bit longer coming back in terms of back training and back involved in the squad, but Rav's back on the grass gradually, so we'll see how that develops really, but hopefully it won't be too long.
Yeah, I guess this season, maybe not towards the end, but this season Rav's had a couple of issues, hasn't he? So is that something that leads to a bit more caution with him as well? Yeah,
I mean the issue he's had with his knee was just one of those things. It was just again, he planted his foot for no one around him, and he just felt a bit of discomfort, so it's a one-off kind of thing with Rav. So listen, we forget how young Rav is as well, and there's definitely that duty to look after and prepare the boys for prevent the injuries to start with, but then prepare them for the career. And Rav's still young and still relatively experienced himself. So, but hopefully he won't be out for too long, and we're getting back soon.
Yeah, obviously before the international break, two big wins, scoring a lot of goals in there. But even prior to that, there was the 3 goals at Norwich and beating a very good Sheffield United team. There was a feeling, I think, amongst many supporters, ourselves, that things were maybe starting to kind of click. Certainly results-wise, I know we spoke before about the positive performances. I mean, did you get that feeling before the break that it was starting to finally come together?
Yeah, in terms of the goals, I cannot totally understand it. Honestly, it didn't really change an awful lot of the performance. I've told you enough. I've sat here and told you the same things, and it was there. But certainly the goals going and the chances being created to then be finished off gives that extra bit of confidence, that extra bit of spark, extra bit of energy, if you like, really. And so the boys will definitely benefit from that, no doubt about it. And we feel it's been coming. But then now is a clean slate. We've got to do it all over again and reproduce that, and that's what's ahead of us.
I was going to say, because obviously an international break does bring a bit of disruption, particularly as you mentioned before, you've got so many internationals, so I guess the challenge now is to make sure that you do kind of go again.
Yeah, without doubt, it's always what's next anyway. It's the next game or the next batch of games. You've got to be ready for it. I think the previous games you can definitely take confidence, and you can take experiences from that. We know it's what's kind of working for us, what maybe we need to tweak and improve on, and that's just ongoing. But certainly I think the boys will benefit from the start of season we've had. Keep doing the right things, sometimes we got the rewards from it, sometimes we didn't, but they kept doing the right things, and now they ended up getting good rewards over the last 2 or 3 weeks, and we need to build on that and keep improving and keeping that momentum going.
Yeah, just finally from me, we mentioned obviously the strength of the squad, and it feels in such a good place from a good summer transfer window, but also the building prior to that as well. With kind of January creeping up ever more. Do you
January
feel
already, yeah?
Yeah. Do you feel kind of as relaxed and as strong, if you like, going into a transfer window as you ever had?
We're not getting carried away. We've not cracked it yet. I think we've played well, and I'm really happy the way we've played. I think we've had some really good results, and we're not in a bad place. We're not necessarily desperate or chasing anything, that's for sure. But there's always striving to get better. There's always what can we do to improve. January is January. Sometimes it's it's things by our choice. Sometimes it's out of our control. So we've got to be ready to come out of January like any window better than we went into it. But certainly as we stand now, I think we got a really good squad with a good balance, good options, and really happy with what we've got. So, but for sure we got to be ready for what January brings.
Yeah, I mean, you see it, football, any transfer window, you've got to expect the unexpected. Like, it's one factor going into January is you've got like the full 25-man AFL squad, haven't you? And then that doesn't include Alex, who was obviously a long-term injury, so wasn't registered. So is that kind of a factor as well going in because of how strong the squad is?
Yeah, it all kind of comes together. It all comes together in different ways. But yeah, certainly that is, and it's a little bit of who's played enough football and who's where's maybe younger players have about on loans or not going on loans. There's constant decisions to be had with that one, really. But certainly at the moment we're quite comfortable and quite happy with what we got.
Hey Michael, just on January again, when do you start, or if you do at all, start worrying potentially about not incomings, people coming and trying to get your players? There's some reports today of clubs interested in a couple of other players. Is it something you think about or speak to the players about, encourage them to stay?
Listen, at this stage I'm not worried. I enjoy having the boys here to work with, so we're in a good place. We've got some good players, whether that's younger players or maybe more experienced players. I think we've got some good players, so naturally in the game, people look and like them and think they might do a job for them or they might do a job for them. That's just how it works. But I don't worry about it. No, for sure. I think the boys, all the players, are an absolute joy to work with and enjoy being here and trying to achieve something. And that's purely what's on our mind at the moment. Yeah, of course, myself and Kieran and in the background, there's always things trying to get an eye on what's coming up, what we can improve on. But players wise, I just enjoy working with a great quality that we got.
And I suppose it shows how well things are going. I know you always it could be better, but how well things are going, if there is talk of people, Premier League clubs being interested. Yeah,
it's a good sign, and we've had it before. Maybe we'll have it again with interest. That's how it is, and it's up to us to manage that and come out stronger and building something as a team and as a club to keep getting better. So that's just the nature of the business.
And just last one from me, looking back to the current squad at the moment, hopefully touch wood the injuries aren't as bad as they could potentially be, but it feels like it could be an opportunity for someone like Dan Barlaser to come in. He got a goal the other week, and how hard has it been, because he maybe hasn't played as much football as he wanted so far this season, but do you still have every confidence in Dan that he can be a big player for the...
Oh yeah, 100%, no doubt. Yeah, no doubt. I really enjoy having Dan around. First of all, his character and his personality is fantastic, but he's got some real quality. He can do things that many can't. The way he plays the game, his strengths are really strong, and so yeah, I've no doubt at all. I think of course there's players that would like to play more, but as I've just said, the squad's so important, and we need that depth. We need big players to be able to play and then take us on to a different level at different periods of the season, and Dan's a really important part of the squad, and he has been all the time since he's been here, and he will continue to be that.
Talking about the squad in the last few games, you made quite a few switches up front and they worked really well. How much of a plus is it having that flexibility?
It's a massive plus. I think the boys, as I said, they've been creating chances, and they're creating chances for each other and scoring goals and sharing them, and the spread's really good and really encouraging. Doesn't make it any easier to pick teams, but I think the fact that there's a number of games coming and the boys understand that as a squad we got to be successful together and we got to achieve together. It's not just about the 11 players, and it's not just about the four forwards on the pitch from the start of a game, and that's up to us to kind of decide and get the balance right, and over the last couple of weeks the boys have really produced for us.
And talking about that, the 11 on the pitch, something that I've been thinking about quite a lot recently is that it's such a massive change in football that you can bring 5 players on, and the opposition can bring that's half the outfield team, isn't it? And previously to COVID, the only time we saw that was in friendlies and in testimonials, and it invariably meant when it's no longer a contest in a game. That's a massive change for the game, and it must be a massive change for you and other coaches in the way that you approach things.
Yeah, I think it is. Without doubt, it's games can flip quite quick. For whether that's half time, whether that's an hour into the game, however the game started. That doesn't mean it's going to finish that way in terms of the pattern of the game, or finish that way scoreline. Games are decided towards the end, and who's on the pitch finishing the game. And I know we all, everyone gets who's starting, what's the starting team, but the finishing team is just if sometimes not even more important than, because that's ultimately when it's decided. So I think to have the option of 5, to have what we feel we've got really strong options of any 5 that we can bring on, we feel that's a real benefit, and we try and use that in the right way when we can.
And how do you manage to sort of balance it so that if you're bringing in 2 players on at once, that everyone stays sort of disciplined together? That must be a real challenge that you don't disrupt. Yeah,
well, definitely that. I think the dynamics of when to do it. Sometimes they might not need one. Sometimes because the way the game is, and the feeling and the combinations and the working together off each other, I think sometimes it can be a natural thing to think, we need to make this up, but sometimes it can disturb things a little bit. But one thing I will say is when the boys are coming in and or different individuals are playing certain games, then we feel that there's a consistency to the performance really, and that's largely how the boys train and work together. So it's not a concern. If anything, we see it as a strength to have the options to be able to change it if we need to.
And just obviously going down to Oxford, it sold out straight away. It's the first time Middlesbrough played Oxford for many years, and never played at that ground. Again, is it a boost for the players, the support going down?
No, I say it to you quite a lot. I think it's and it's something we can't and we shouldn't and we won't take for granted. And pretty much everywhere we go, especially away, is sold out, and the support, and to us to keep backing that and giving performances and results that keeps happening.